last one was, so I'm Brendan. I'm kind of pointed out by Myra earlier as the co-president of University of Libertarians here. I know a couple things I kind of want to round off on some of the stuff that you touched on earlier with you. The first one of those being, you mentioned you want to legalize marijuana like it's tomatoes. So when you're doing that, I know that some states like Colorado, they have marijuana totally free, and you use that as a reference in what you're talking about. But we've also referenced the fact that they have kind of a sin tax associated with that, where they tax marijuana at a higher rate than they tax other things. Is that something that you would actually be interested in implementing here in Texas? Or would you be more focused on, same sales tax as everything else?
I would be more focused on the same as everything else. However, and I have said this, if marijuana, and we have to kind of look at it in 3 different steps, not steps, but as 3 different issues. One, shall we say, industrial hemp. Okay, you cannot claim that should be probably taxed the same as cotton. Okay, I would prefer not to tax it at all, but nothing would ever get passed. And then you have medical marijuana. And for medical use, and that I would oppose any tax to that. And here was a scary thing. Governor Abbott last session signed the use of a certain amount of CBD oil for epileptic kids and that. Here was the catch on that. Does anybody here have any idea what it costs to get a license to sell CBD oil? Somebody take a wild guess, please.
6 figures at least.
$1.5 million. Tell me, how is that legalizing marijuana? They went to a big battle over that. But so that the medical would be now recreational. If it was to be taxed any more than any other recreational alcohol, then the only way that I would accept that is if those funds went into a rehabilitation fund to rehabilitate and pardon the people who are in prison now that committed a victimless crime. There was no victim. They were caught with cannabis, but to rehabilitate them, to get them their life back on track, to get them an education if need be, and to get their record expunged so that they can get on with their life, then I may consider it. But anything beyond that, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well, thank you. That's a pretty good answer to my question then. Another one that I was curious on was areas around Houston. I've heard have been implementing something with body cameras for the anything I know that indirectly, the governor can have a lot of sway over what local police departments use for anything regarding the methods. What is your take on how body cameras could be implemented?
My take is something totally different. I don't think body cameras need to be implemented. And here is a simple solution. We make police officers have to be licensed and bonded and insured. A police officer commits one infraction or two, he's out. He's no longer a police officer. It's the same with an attorney. It's the same with any other profession. They're licensed and bonded. And that weeds out the bad apples. There are a lot of doctors that are no longer doctors. There are a lot of attorneys that are no longer attorneys. A lot of the professions are that way. I don't see why, if a police officer is going to carry a gun and has the ability to shoot and kill somebody, I think he should be insured. And when he becomes uninsurable, he shouldn't be a police officer.
That works pretty well. Okay. I was curious just because, like I mentioned, the governor can have a lot of sway over what the different police departments in the counties do.
Over that he does, yes.
One more thing I was curious on, though, is one of the other libertarians running for office right now, Neil Dyckman, who's running for Senate, has actually expressed on his campaign page in an interview he has posted on the front page there that he's considering the fact that libertarians are on the ballot in and of itself a win, and he's there as kind of a third party option, but he doesn't have any expectation of winning, and frankly, he doesn't intend to win. He's looked at the poll numbers, he knows he's not at a state where he's going to be able to beat either one of the candidates even by the November election, so he's going to place third and just continue as things have been with the two major parties in the Senate. How would you compare his take on this election to yours?
His take is, and I know Neil real well. I was just with Neil at the other event before I come running over here. And Neil is a very, very intelligent person. He is. I would love to see him on the debate stage with Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz. Personally, I think he is more knowledgeable than they are, and he would. We'll never know how he will do, but I can understand his frustration. I really can, but he is bringing a lot of change because I don't know if you saw the first Cruz O'Rourke debate. Ted Cruz in two different occasions said, "This is the libertarian in me coming out." Ted Cruz's campaign is petrified of Neil Dyckman. They are having to change their format. They're having to change their dialogue. And all this is due to Neil Dyckman. The one thing that I think Neil Dyckman or anybody was really anticipating is the Beto phenomenon. It is a phenomenon, see I've talked too long, that comes along every now and then. But he is really forcing both sides to talk about real issues. So, and Neil is, I mean, nobody's under any illusion, okay? When it comes right down to it, it is you voting, you and your conscience. That's all it is. And it's all we can try to do is hope that what our message is a message of common sense and logic, and that it resonates. And that it resonates enough that you'll, or the voters will say, you know, this is who I am. And not use their vote as as something to extort or something to swap or vote for the lesser of two evils or anything like that, but your own conscience. Regardless of the outcome, this is who I am, this is what I believe in, this is how I'm going to vote, because this is me. Because at the end of the day, it's you.
All right, I think I'm up on time as this.
If you're flexible, Mark said he's going to answer any questions that you have. So if you want to keep going, then keep going. And if you're done, you can go ahead and
I'll pass it off for that.